Before starting, I would like to say thank you for the invitation today, and also thank you to Proteus in general for participating in this exciting thing. And also a special thanks to PrimeServe in Frederikshavn for the joint workshop we had, sharing knowledge concerning business development when we talk about service. And then I'm happy to show you that we also now have our own Alfa Laval test and training center in Aalborg. They have this in Frederikshavn, and now we have this in Aalborg as well, opening here in the middle of January. And if any of you have special interest in that, we still have open seats for the opening, so let me know afterwards. You're invited. Just let me know, it's very interesting. It's actually a full-scale engine room we're building up. We are going to test 90% of the Alfa Laval products within this test center, taking water directly from the harbor. Very interesting. Of course, especially if you're looking into the service business, also training our salespeople, training salespersons, service people, and also when we are talking about next step will actually be to train our customers, of course, in this. R&D is, of course, involved in this as well. Well, on to today's agenda. A changed approach to product service development. We've been hearing a lot of interesting cases here today, and I must say that we are just in the beginning steps when we are comparing to these guys. As the subtitle here indicates, you can see that we are making some organizational changes. And this I'll inform you about. We couldn't wait until your book was ready, so we just made the organizational changes this month. So it's very new. So I'm looking forward to read book number 5 very soon. During the presentation, I will give a very small introduction to our company and then look into the organizational changes. Then I will give you 3 examples, thereby trying to highlight how we're changing our organization into be closer to our customers, which actually have given us a much better relationship with them. I will show you that during the cases. Alfa Laval is not a large company compared to the ones we have been hearing today, but we are 16,000 people. We have production sites in 50 places around the world, service station in more than 100 places around the world as well. When we're talking about Alfa Laval, they're dividing their business into 3 divisions: equipment, marine and diesel, and process technology. Marine and diesel will be the key subject because that's where I'm located and which are interesting for this here as well. As mentioned, marine and diesel. Within marine and diesel, we have service. Service is actually covering what you see here: parts, repair, retrofit, and service. And service agreements with customers as well. What we have been doing now is we are establishing a business development function. It's a new department consisting of, the 1st of February will be 5 people focusing only on business development. And we are focusing within this area as first priority, meaning product service systems, which we are discussing today. Jacob mentioned that it was important to have the support from top management, and I must say that we do have at the moment. It's a staff function to our vice president, who's globally responsible for what we call service. So he's very keen on this. Then we, of course, have a very close relationship with the customers. That's one of the main targets. Then we're working in close cooperation with our R&D. We all know who's going to tell which kind of products we'll be needing tomorrow. That's the customers. And we are close to the customers when we're talking about the service organization. That's not capital sales. Anyway, we do have a close cooperation with our capital sales as well. Because when we are talking about product service development, we need to be a very close part of capital sales. They typically start with the request for quotation, having all the order equipment, order process, you could say, and very often also do the startup and commissioning. Then there's a lag here where we want to be much more closer. Very often we first see the problems after 2 years when the guarantee period is out, then suddenly we are involved in the service. We would very much like to get much closer into this, and this is also in spirit with the product service systems. So that's, we see a huge untapped business potential out here. And this is also one of the roles for this new business development department. Very shortly, as you can see here, Alfa Laval is very well represented on board vessels. If we're looking about the Aalborg products, with the blue circle here, we're talking about inert gas generation, exhaust gas cleaning, waste heat recovery, steam generation, and thermal fluid heating and cargo heating. I saw before that there was mentioned Aalborg Industries. We were acquired by Alfa Laval a few years ago, so we are also going from 2,000 employees to 16,000. So we know the problem from Wilhelmsen. But anyway, this is of course a great opportunity when we're talking about service in the future with these many products on board the vessels. The first case here, or example, supply-driven innovation. Actually, it might be the wrong sentence because we are actually the supplier here. The case is together with Maersk. We are in the middle of running an innovation project together with Maersk Tankers. The one running them from Maersk is Maersk Maritime Technology. I don't know if you know about them, but they are actually the knowledge and competence center within Maersk, making sure that they actually have the latest technology implemented in all their vessels, and also looking into new buildings, etc. of course. So it's the experts. What's very interesting here is if you look at the participants in the workshops. From Alfa Laval, we were participants from R&D, capital sales, and service, which were me. Then we look at Maersk Tankers, which was the case here. Technical advisors, fleet group managers, fuel optimization manager. These guys are experts when operating the vessels. So they came with all the technical knowledge about operating the vessels. Global procurement was part of this as well. They absolutely need to be that when you're talking about Maersk. Then Maersk Maritime Technology, Innovation Portfolio Manager, running the show from Maersk. And then head of strategic R&D was part of this as well, and project managers. So all in all, I would say that very competent people from both companies. I'm going to inform you about the process and thereby give you insight in how we are changing our approach to working together with the customers. We had a full day workshop for a start. We were 12 people in total. We made 3 groups, and then we just started brainstorming all our challenges, putting them on stickers up on the walls. We did that 3 times, mixing groups, making sure that we all heard challenges from Alfa Laval side, but also from, especially from Maersk side, you could say. Then we were clustering all the challenges. And then we were back in groups, trying to be innovative again, finding all the solutions we could for all the challenges, and then clustering them again. It was a long day, but very, very interesting, in fact, discussing the technical details with all the experts. So it was very beneficial for all of us. Then we had some homework. We need to go home to our colleagues in Aalborg, making sure that we actually could do all these solutions that we have promised. The same with Maersk Tankers, they needed to evaluate if they actually the challenges were the ones they were going to look into. Then we went to a next meeting and we presented all the technical and commercial evaluation or suggestions to them. It seems here like it was an easy process. We only met once. The process is still running, and so far we've been meeting concerning this 4 times. So it's a heavy process, but very, very interesting. If I should just give you a status of what's going on, I can say that we have chosen one huge innovation project, which is being evaluated at the moment. During Christmas and January, I think we will be ready for the next step. Then we have 3 or 4 retrofit upgrades, you could say, which are being evaluated at the moment based on business cases. Is this actually a reasonable investment to do? Short payback times, it's still the money that counts. And then we have a handful of ideas which put on the shelf for now. This is how we want to work with our customers in the future. It's providing us with very important knowledge, but also giving good suggestions, advising our customers how to use our products. This was the one project. Then we have another example here, what we're doing in our department. We are going to start this up at the beginning of next year. Together with a Norwegian vessel owner and a marine engineer doing his final thesis is going to be part of this, so that we have some kind of neutral person in the middle to do the work as well, of course, and then our guys in Aalborg. Here we look into the steam balance, and we all know that the vessel operation has changed. Now we are slow steaming. We are even super slow steaming, meaning that our products, which are waste heat recovery after the main engines, they are just not providing any steam anymore because they are designed for 85% load. Now we are going below 20. Then we are not having enough steam. Then our oil products are having a total other different operation conditions now. They are going to start up our oil-fired boilers at different times during voyage, which were not the plan actually. So there's a lot of technical ongoing within when we're talking about the steam balance on board vessels. And we would like to look into that in a more detailed way in order so that we can, of course, gain some knowledge, but also be able to advise and upgrade concerning service agreements in the future. So we'll look into the theoretical requirements, which were actually the design from the vessel from the beginning, and then look at what is required today, and then what are they actually producing, and then upgrading service, what can we do to support that. We are, of course, not that naive that we can avoid looking into the fuel line. We know that it's all about cost. Today the cost of operating the ship is high, and the half of that is actually fuel cost. So of course we need to look into this. So depending on the scope and the extent of this project with the Norwegian customer, then we will look into the fuel, but we will certainly start with looking into our steam balance on board the vessel, which will be the main priority. And the final example, now we're talking a lot about innovation, and that's good, but in our mind, innovation is not innovation until we actually capture the benefits. And in order to do this, we need to utilize our knowledge into sales as well. So we are just putting our final hands on this tool, which being it's a simple tool driven by a flash file, so that's meant to be put on all our salespeople's laptops so they can go out to the customers. It's a sales tool for waste heat recovery after the auxiliary engines, because now we're actually realizing that the main engine is going at very low steam, very low speed, but next to the main engines, 3 or 4 auxiliary engines is just running all the time at different kind of load levels. This we will of course want to utilize with one of our new products. So this tool makes us able of sitting together with the customer, saying, okay, how many auxiliary engines do you have? What's the installed power in each of them? How are they operated with loads? How many days per year? And also you can switch between US dollars. We can ask, how are you going between heavy fuel oil or MGO? And finally, we also will support our customers very well. We are actually having a finance model so that the customer can borrow the money from us at a very fair interest rate, just in order to support the customer and make it as easy for them as possible. Each time we twist one of these knobs, the payback period will show here if this is a good investment for the customer. We don't have to go back to our office to make the quotation. We can give them a quite fair idea of where they are within this investment. This is also one of the things we look into with our new organizational change and the business development function. That was actually what I had on the agenda. Questions?
Again, very nice story of how you not only developed over the years in the service thinking, but also now making tools that help communicate with your customers the same tool the negotiate. Yeah. Single question for Sir. Before we take the next small break. We leave the coffee. Yeah, it's possible to see the demonstration. The tool? Yeah. Yeah, it will be released in January. Okay. So they come and release the segment. Yeah, they come then we can make a race afterwards and check them. Okay. Good. Thanks for the presentation. I really like that last slide that you generated. I was wondering, you said that you rushed ahead and you stepped beyond the Proteus launch of the reorganisation book and you've just gone for it. What actually made you take that step? Was there a specific thing or a regulation or a business opportunity that made you take the step, or did the CEO say we're doing this, or actually made you take that lead?
With that, I've only been with Alfa Aalborg for a year, and this was one of my tasks to business development across the segments, making sure that we actually are getting the retrofit products launched and developed in the right way. So I don't know if that's because I've been too bad at it that we have to employ 5 people, or if we're seeing a potential. But there's a huge potential, and we have a lot of good ideas, good products, retrofit, upgrade kits, which are just not pushed out, and that's due to lack of resources. So that's probably the most important thing. That it's a staff function out of the daily operation, only focusing on this. And of course, Alfa want to be a lot of more within the service, so it was easy to get this sold into the organization.
Extremely interesting to see how the organization is building around the